おはようございます。日本の皆さんこんばんは。ただいまドライバーズミーティングが始まりました。
So the biggest bump so far has been tire sauce. So tire sauce can only be done in the tire sauce area. You do not need to have your tires on your car. You can go over there with just tires, that's fine. Or you can go over there with your car. Doesn't matter. But that's the only place that sauce can exist in this entire facility. If we will be walking around, if we find that you have tire sauce in your pits, doesn't matter if you use it or not, you'll be DQ'd from the entire event. So let this be everybody's warning right now. If you are found with tire sauce in your pits, you will be automatically DQ'd from the entire event. No questions asked. This will be a very hard, steadfast policy. Next thing, as you guys all know, for 13.5, we are doing resistance checks. Resistance checks are to ensure that you have met the minimum resistance for that motor. If you do not meet that resistance, your motor will be, if it's blatantly flagrant, we will hold that motor until the end of the event. If it's not blatant but it's under, you will get the motor back. But keep in mind, you cannot run a motor that is not checked in any type of control practice or qualifying. The other big discussion is, will we be tearing down motors? Absolutely, yes, we will. So, the way the motor tech is going to work is, for the mains, anytime that a racer TQs a round, that motor number will be recorded. At the end of the event, the final motor, the winner, will also be torn down. If the motor that was ran in the final, the winning motor, was say motor number 12, and they TQ with motor number 2, 12 will be torn down first, to check for legality. Then we will also turn around and tear down motor number 2. So not just the top motor, but if we TQ and run different motor in the main, both will get torn down. And then we'll go down the list. If that fails, we'll go to second, third, and so on and so forth. I already had a meeting this morning with the team managers regarding the gurney height. There was a lot of discussion about gurney/side dam height. Please see your team managers for the final ruling. It's going to be molded in gurney will be 80 millimeters max. So not the side dams, but the actual molded in gurney to the bottom. That'll be 80 millimeters max height. Question about tire tape. So a lot of racers use tape to mark their lines on where they're saucing their tires. That is allowed. The only type of tape that is allowed is either detailing tape or masking tape. No tape that leaves any type of residue can be used. Anybody have questions on that? Perfect. Just a reminder, we are doing ball points. It is best 3 out of 6, so it is ball points. If you do not run around, you are automatically awarded 500 points. So if you do not run or you're DQ'd, it's an automatic 500 points per the FMR rules. Bodies. Body cut line is what the rule is. I understand there's some bodies that do not have a body cut line in the rear. Some don't have it barely visible in the front. There must be a lip on the body. So if you have any questions, please go to tech before you touch the body. I'll explain to you what we mean by a lip. So in other words, in the back, it must roll over. We must be able to feel a lip. In the front, same thing. It cannot be perfectly flat. We must feel a lip. Let's see what else. Battery voltage. So the rule for battery voltage is 4.20. So 4.2000. Our meter goes down to the thousands. What we've decided, and our board has decided, is that if you come up and you are 4.20 to 4.22, you can run down the battery. You have to go to the back of the line and come back through. If that means that you missed your race, then you missed your race. You cannot run it down in front of us and then recheck and get to go to the back of the line. So 4.20 to 4.22. If you come up above 4.22, you cannot run, period, end of story. So we're going to give a slight variance, 4.20 to 4.22. If you are within that, you go to the back of the line, run it down, and get rechecked. Now keep in mind, you're going to have to get rechecked. So once again, if you miss your race because of that, you can't cut the line, then you're out. That's the penalty for coming up above voltage. So 4.20's rule will allow 4.20 to 4.22. Battery temp. Battery temp has to be less than 90 degrees. So I know it's Florida, but luckily we lucked out this week with some beautiful weather. Anything below 90 is acceptable. Anything below 90 you cannot run. There is no variance on that. If we do get temperatures, we'll be taking temperatures throughout the week. If we do get an area, because we do have outside pits, that ends up being the ambient is above 90 degrees, so whatever restrictions is in, we will do +5 above ambient. So if the ambient intent ends up being 92, your battery temp will now be 97. Does that make sense, everybody? All right. I don't think we're going to have that problem. Tomorrow's supposed to be even cooler than today, or all the next day after that. So the only day it may come into question is maybe Saturday. Penalties. Let's talk about penalties real quick. Everybody knows today is free practice. You do not have to be tech compliant today. Okay? So if you want to be like the winner of the hot lap of practice and have that, little golden trophy, then that's you. Today's your day. But tomorrow, starting tomorrow, you must be tech compliant, so everyone must go through tech. So today, once again, free practice. You guys do not need to be tech compliant. Everything else will stay in place. So in other words, when heat 1 goes up there and runs, that means heat 9 is turn marshal. All right, you do have a turn marshal for free practice. When you get done your run, so heat 1 is done, you will see at the bottom underneath the IFMAR championship banner below the driver's seat, you see a black table with scale. We will have a tech official over there, even for today, for free practice. You do not touch your cars. You bring them into that pit lane. The tech official will grab your cars off the track, place them onto the table. You come out and turn marshal. You don't have to touch your car. After you get done turn marshal, go to the black table, grab your car, go back to your pits. And then we go on to the next group. So once again, pit lane after you get done running. Let's see, everything else doesn't matter. Today, charge rate. There's some discussion on charge rate. The charge rate rule is there is no limit. Now, that doesn't mean you can charge 120 amps. Okay? So 40 amps, we're going to use as an unsaid rule. All right? So in other words, if I can go over there and you're running dual channel 80 amps, we're going to have a discussion. I'm not going to DQ you, but I'm going to have a discussion with you because that is unsafe. Does that make sense? So there is no charge rate rule, but if I see you charging 80, we're going to have a discussion. Plus you're charging 80, I'm not sure, it must be late. That's all I can say about that. Alright, so for today, the schedule, you guys know we have 4 rounds of free practice. The first 2 rounds will be 4 minutes in length. There will be a 3-minute clock in between, so the way it works is 4 minutes on the track. You will have 1 minute to finish the run after that, so a 1-minute clock extension. And then there's 2 minutes until the next race. So a total of 7 minutes for the first 2, total of 11 minutes for the second 2. So your first 2 runs are 4 minutes in length. Your second 2 runs are 8 minutes in length. We're scheduled to complete at 4:45. Everybody has a schedule that Daniel passed out during registration. If you don't have one, go see him. We have 9 heats. We lucked out. Our schedule that we printed before the event is going to hold true. This will keep you guys on track. We will stay on track down to the minute, so you guys can have appropriate time sauce and know that you're actually up at these times. 4:45 is our scheduled time with conclusion today. That means you guys have an hour and 15 minutes before the building will close. The building will close once again at 6 p.m. tonight. Tomorrow, once again, there's 1 free practice in the morning. Once again, free practice is not tech compliant. Then we go into our 3 rounds of seeding. After the 3 rounds of seeding, there will be a resort. After CP3 for your qualifiers will begin on Thursday. After CP3 tomorrow, we will be doing our opening ceremony. So more details will come out to your team managers later today regarding the opening ceremony and also tomorrow morning on how that's going to work. But just keep in mind, opening ceremony is scheduled for 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. Thursday, we go into practice. Morning practices are on the schedule starting on Thursday. So on Thursday morning, we'll have a short driver's meeting at 8 o'clock for a few other things that may come up. Then we're going to go to our morning practice. The morning practice is 8 minutes in length, just as the schedule states. Most people are asking about that. All right? So keep in mind, the biggest thing for today is make sure you guys get tech compliant. Make sure you have the correct things tech for starting with your control practice tomorrow. You must be tech compliant for tomorrow. I think that's it. You guys have any questions for me? Easy questions, nothing detailed. Yes, sir. Good. Yeah, good. So after you guys sauce, you do not need to stay in the sauce area. You're more than welcome to go to sauce and take your cars back to your pits. Just the main rule is no sauce in the pits. I said that already, yeah. Tires do not need to be on the car sauce. You go over there with just tires. If you want to go over there and sauce the tires, bring them back to my pit. That's a good question. So best seeding is your top 3 consecutive from any single round. That's all we cover. We're like, oh, can I take this up from here and do it now? From any single round, top 3 consecutive. You have a lot of questions. You can put it with your cards. Actually, no, you can't. So, no, there is no table for your transmitters. When you get to your table, take your transmitter with you. So that's the other question. So out there currently, there's 7 cones. If you are 8, 9, or 10, it will be 8, 9, 10, or 12 on the doctor. We'll get cones out there for 8, 9, 10. Good question on the transmitter. So we'll get you back to the table. So, there's two loops of the track. We have the main and the backup. The main loop is the one that's denoted by the checkerboard tape that's on the pipes. For the mains and for qualifying, we will paint the line. So for free practice today, we paint the line. Your secondary loop is going to be the yellow line. Obviously, we're going off the main. If things happen, then it'll go automatically switch to the backup loop. So we have 4 redundancies put in place regarding loops. So we should have no loop issues at all. Knock on wood. Any other things? Anybody? Nothing? You guys are waiting to hear the offer about it. I'm just going to say, oh, of course. Good question. So you can run 2 cars in practice. In qualifying, you cannot. So seating, you can. Yeah, qualifying, you cannot. So for seating, technically, you can. Yeah, I know. I agree. But you got to tackle those cars. And that's usually what ends up eliminating the people running. Yeah, I look for that, and it's unfortunately, it's qualifying states you cannot, means you cannot, but it does not specify for seating. Unfortunately, I agree. That's another thing that we'll look at is running 2 cars this season. Moving forward. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. MRTs, yeah, so Robbie has not updated his box, and our backup box is also not updated, so MRTs work perfectly. Yeah, thanks to A&B for that. Anybody else? Yes, sir. You can mark 2 chassis. In the rules, yeah, so the way the chassis work, good question. So for 12 scale, you can have 2 chassis marked. Alright, so you can mark 2 chassis. If you destroy one of those 2 chassis, you need to bring me your car, destroyed, along with your new chassis that you would like to get marked. That chassis must be identical. In other words, mounting holes, etc. must be identical to the chassis that you're attempting to replace. We will then confiscate your destroyed chassis, and you can then use the new chassis that is now marked. Those destroyed chassis, you guys can come get them from me at the end of the event. But we will confiscate those until the end of the event. Anything else? A lot of people have already marked 2 chassis. Correct. The rule is you can mark 2 chassis. So I just said that. So if you destroy one of your cars, right, then you only have 1 chassis left that's good that's marked. You then bring me your destroyed car. I look at it, I verify that the chassis that you're replacing is identical to the chassis that you destroyed. I confiscate your destroyed one, we then mark the new one. That way you guys always, so in other words, you always can have 2 chassis in play, right? During qualifying mains, you can only run 1 chassis along the track in that 8-minute walk. Does that make sense? So, you can have 2 chassis marked. In qualifying mains, only 1 of those marked chassis will be checked in and can run on the track. You cannot run your second car, in other words. And we can obviously see if we try that. We'll see right on the screen. Plus the referee can see the swap cars. It's pretty apparent. But for seating and for free practice, you guys can run, if you want to swap out cars in the middle of it, you're more than welcome. Anything else? Nothing? All right, gentlemen. Thank you guys. So I good match. Once again, if you guys have any questions, come see me.
So if they do 2 cars in 1 run, they have to flip the tires with the other car, or they waste the step on the extra anyway.
So we have a question here about walking away. Yes, this is live on LiveRC. Type in go to liverc.com, type in ISMAR, and then go right up. Remember, we're running my team sheets, guys. Team sheets are all out. Our rates are also posted right here below me on the back wall.
参加者は多分100人ぐらいかなと思います。さあ今ドライバーズミーティングが終わりました。この後タイムスケジュール通りにレースが進行するとのことです。はい、ここが車検場ですね。先ほどすべて車検は通しました。バーディシェルチェックですね。あとモーターチェック、ここでやってます。はい、ザッパありがとうございます。はい、ロバートさん、おはようございます。ライブ中。今回サポートお願いします。よろしくお願いします。日本は楽しかったですか？楽しかったですか？多分これカスヤヒロも見ると思います。ロバートさん、ピットどこですか？中にもそう、私たちこっちです。ハヤトこっちいます。お願いします。これテスラが止まってるの。マーク、ライブ中、ジャパニーズピープル、メッセージ、おはよう。腹。お疲れマンボウ。お疲れマンボウ。Good luck。はい、ピットに戻ってまいりました。ここがタイヤカットエリアになってますね。ここまで来ると遅いんだ。トイレはこれです。これがトイレです。今日の天気は日差しが強いですが T シャツで一応過ごせるぐらいの気候です。私は T シャツに短パンです。ちょっと曇ってますけどブルースカイって感じじゃないですね。なんかさっきあそこにこの椅子のところなんかね、ちょっと多分シワがあったのかな、なんかやってました。さあピットに戻ってフリープラクティス1本目、モーニングフリープラクティス1本目に準備にしたいと思います。はい、おはようございます。ドライバーズミーティング問題なさそうでしたか？そうですね。ここは強いみたいな。こっち大丈夫だ。はい、2割ぐらい聞き取れたハイド選手、おはようございます。この後予選が始まりますので準備よろしくお願いします。ごめんなさい、練習ですね。失礼。練習が始まります。2割ぐらい聞き取れたら間違いないと思います。大丈夫です。はい。そうです、そう十分ですよ。はい。今回2人珍道中にならないように頑張りましょう。ロバート来てくれたんで、あとはロバートに訳してもらいましょう。今はボディの準備中です。参加者は100人ぐらい だと思います。ちょっとまだテーブル空いてるんでこれから来るんだとは思うんですけど、まだ全員来てないみたいですね。なんかこっちのピットに来ると Wi-Fi がちょっと弱いみたいですね。こっちは大丈夫そうです。
I will come to take a picture. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
湯気も来てますね。アレックスも来てます。ハロー。Morning.さあ皆さんフリープラクティスに向けて準備中です。はい。Hi Mark, morning. Okay, good luck. Mr. Automatics. Live too. Yes, live. So, yes, Japanese Automatics fan message.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice to see some guys.
Yep.
Especially like
Yes.
Tatsuki over here.
Oh, thank you.
And I hope I can finally make a trip next year to
Yes,
Japan
yeah.
and see some of you guys over there.
Okay.
I hope.
Yes. Good luck. Good luck.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Enjoy. さあすげえナイスガイなんですよ。マックスはマッドマックス。さあここはニューヨークのダニーですね。さあダニーのコースでレーステストをしてきました。こっち側がオーソマティックスチームのピットエリアのようです。さあ今アメリカでスーパー速いサムもいます。ちょっと今時間があるので中に回ってきました。
Oh, shut up. Get over it. You're so fucking... You're almost worse than me. Yeah, I know. You sound like me.
入れるのかな。あ、閉まっちゃった。さあこの後30分後ぐらいから始まります。 OK？ はい、本日のスケジュールです。10時から予選が始まります。ちょっとまだ組み分けが出てないんだけどな。大輔どこなんだろう。さあもう何は塗りに来てますね。モーニングケビン。 はいはい。ハローハロー。さあ、ここ入ってくるとやっぱ遅くなっちゃうので、一旦ここでまたライブは、止めたいと思います。本当はここのピットの中でも撮影したいんですが、ちょっと回線状況があまり仲は良くないみたいなので、切れちゃうかもしれません。まあ、とりあえず、ドライバーズミーティングが終わってフリープラクティスまであと30分。さあ、ヤマピーも。ヤマピーさっきママ見てたよ。おはよう。多分ね、ここまで。その一歩がね、ここに来ると電波が悪くなっちゃうんですよ。あ、消えました。はい、おはようございます。さっきママ見てたよ。頑張ってください。マックスさん。Good morning. It's okay? Yes. 頑張れさあ、今回は山下のサポートをこっちでマックスがやってます。私は隼人のサポートで2人体制でやっております。さあ、この後30分後にスタートしますので、また、ちょこちょこライブしていきたいと思います。バイバーイ。